Hello beautiful beings, and welcome to another Galactic Mayan astrology report. I don't have my tripod because I wasn't intending to do this video here, but I've been spending time in this beautiful river this week and on this beautiful land, and I came to say my thank yous before I left, and yeah, just got the insight to do the Wavespell report. So this is a Wavespell report for the 12th of September, Tuesday the 12th of September 2023. And yeah, big waves at the minute, and I can see, reflected with everybody that I'm in connection with, we're really up leveling, and it's wonderful, but with that up leveling comes death, and yeah, it feels really powerful. Feels like a really powerful time. And the Wavespell that we've just completed is the red moon, so there's this real like deep feminine water that is the red moon, and it's wonderful to be, because it's still red moon whilst I film this. Yeah, it's wonderful to be by the waters and feeling that energy. And then that red moon archetype takes us into a 13-day process with white wind. So the white wind energy that starts on the 12th of September and is on offer for the 13 days from that day. It actually begins on, so this framework is 13-day wave spells, 13-day processes of evolution with 20 archetypes. And that gives a 260-day cycle, which is equivalent to the human gestation period. So each one of the days is a number between 1 and 260. And the white wind wave spell initiates white magnetic wind is actually the 222nd day of our 9 months, 260-day process. I think by the time that this is uploaded, the Galactic Mayan Astrological Diary will be ready for you to purchase. So our new cycle begins on the 21st of October, and I'll pop the link for that below. But also, I'm teaming up with Taco, an incredible magician, to offer a year-long quest that utilises the Galactic Mayan calendar and the ancient Celtic Wheel of the Year. Very, very excited about it. The level of synchronicity around it all has been profound. And through that process, we're going to be meeting fortnightly online for 13 moons. So it begins on the first day of the new Zolkin Galactic Mayan spin, which is also just a handful of days before Samhain, which is the beginning of the Wheel of the Year. So the Wheel of the Year follows the solstices. That's like where we get the solstices, but there are actually 8 points on that clock. So it's the nature clock, and then the Galactic Mayan is the galactic evolutionary consciousness clock. There's so much more to say, but I'll just upload in a few days a video about it. We've got a limited number of places. We're going to be doing a free webinar as a taster, but it's something that I am really excited to bring through. So as we are in the waning days of our 260-day process, as I say, on day 222, which is Tuesday the 12th of September this year, we're moving into the white wind wave spell, and the white wind follows the red moon. So we've done this like purification process. We've journeyed this like what it means to let go of control. How do we live in honour and reverence of the feminine inside all of us? How do we allow that energy to move through us? How do we allow ourselves to be moved by that energy? And then we arrive at the white wind, and the white wind is all about expression. It's about channeling. It's about being a conduit. So the white energies, as I always say, you know, it's an energy of refinement, so it's all about getting clear. So often, particularly with white wind is essentially about the throat. That's it, really, you know, and all the different ways that you can feel into and think about the throat. But it's interesting that it comes after this 13-day process that's all about like surrendering to flow, surrendering to the feminine, and surrender, essentially. Because once we are in that surrendered space, then we can allow ourselves to open to be these conduits of the divine, essentially. Oh, there's a little robin up there. Hi, dude. So the white wind is an initiation into all things communication, self-expression, and creativity. So the white wind is a real... I'm just slightly distracted by that beautiful, beautiful robin. I wonder if can I spin around so you can see. Can you see it? Duck, duck, duck. I don't know if you can see him. But anyway, you got a view of where I am, which is quite cool. So yeah, white wind. As humans, we have had a dose of sleepiness that has meant that we've been existing in our minds. And as a result of existing in our minds have been programmed through maybe systematic intention, maybe results of trauma imprint, who knows? But our noggins are full of thoughts that are on repeat and that are not placed there consciously by us. So when it comes to creating space to express our truth, to express the divine, to allow ourselves to channel, often everything's filtered through the mind, which means that it's really difficult for us to express clearly and honestly. Often, and I've had a massive journey with my throat, and it's interesting to see where I've landed now, because I was so suppressed and so like self-suppressed and so afraid of speaking that I just couldn't find my voice, I couldn't find my truth, I couldn't find my authentic expression, I couldn't sing, I couldn't do any of these things. And I say I couldn't because literally my nervous system would go into fucking fright and I'd have a mini panic attack whenever it was using my authenticity, because it felt vulnerable. If it wasn't a conflict situation or if it didn't feel edgy, it's always been okay because I'm a writer. But now seeing that where I've landed is like Mama Dragon is here, and not being able to stop myself sometimes to collect my awareness to communicate effectively. But yeah, this experience that we are all transmuting together when it comes to our voice and our expression and our authenticity, it's like one of the biggest pieces of the transformation of the planet, I feel, or the transformation of the human as an aspect of Gaia, because we've been through so much conditioning, like school, my feels about school. But what that's meant is, asking permission to be able to talk, not being listened to, not being valued, all those different pieces. So our relationship with our voice, with our self-expression, with our throat is complex. And there are so many, like the throat and our expression is literally how we allow our internal world to be expressed outwardly. It's how we communicate and connect. It's such a key piece of the puzzle. So white wind gives us an opportunity to transform some of the limitations on our throat, to meet those vulnerable situations in safety. We might not feel safe, but meeting those parts of us that don't feel safe in an environment that is safe, so that we can practice, because that's one of the big pieces, is the practicing of expression. And I don't mean rehearsing, I mean giving ourselves the space to be like, I'm just going to tell the truth right now, I'm just going to speak, I'm just going to sing, I'm just going to channel. And like, you know, with the kind of work that I do, I guide people a lot when I'm doing like Reiki and Sept master trainings. One of the big things that I work with people to do is like unblock that channeling ability. And the whole way that we open to channel is the risk of getting it wrong. And it just takes us, you know, it's so multifaceted, the journey with that, because it's like allowing the trust. Because all, like when you begin, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't say that, I don't know what I'm on about, I'm chatting shit. But then once you say it and the other person's like, wow, that's really resonant, it then builds that muscle and it builds that trust. And equally, you know, when we have like a conflict situation where we used to like closing ourselves down, when we actually speak and then it turns out that we're heard, again, that muscle is built, that experience allows us to trust more. And you know, it's really important to recognise the way that we live now doesn't, it's like the danger isn't what it was when that mechanism was created. But now we're still living in the echoes of those experiences, whether they're ancient and carried in our DNA, or, you know, from early childhood when we were maybe not in very loving situations. So really our journey with White Wind is about the opening to channel. And it might be that we're channeling our hearts, it might be that we're channeling some cosmic energy, it might be that we're channeling the earth. But really, interestingly, it feels like the throat is an output, but actually it's a receiver, if we allow it to be. And then what comes through the receiving, as opposed to the thinking and the pushing and the creating, that then brings this authentic channel. So when it comes to how to journey the next 13 days, notice the aspects of your self-expression that still feel a bit in whatever way, and give yourself opportunities. Know that you're in alignment with the energies to try and behave a bit differently, to try and do things a little bit differently. You know, for the longest time, and this is what I mean now, it's so surprising to me to witness the journey, and this is where you really start to get the fruits. I couldn't have difficult conversations, or situations, but conversations. It was like, okay, I need to write them a letter. For years, I have to write a letter. Whereas now, yeah, sometimes there's still a bit of like, but I can speak. So if you're a letter writer, have the conversation in person. If you're somebody that's always focused on the other, try and tune into your feelings and notice maybe the fear that's there of, yeah, am I going to be rejected? Am I going to be abandoned? And just allow it. Allow it. Because the thing is, when we go through these growth edges, when we allow ourselves to lean into the uncomfortable, we are then repatterning. If we don't lean into the uncomfortable, we don't get I ran out of storage again. But yes, leaning into the divine, leaning into the uncomfortable, allowing ourselves to create also. Like, what is your flavour of creativity? Not what you're good at, what do you enjoy? And then give some time and space to that. Because that's the biggest thing. Like, when we're kids, we know we're not doing something until we go through fucking school. We don't create things to prove anything or to be good at it. It's like we get the paints out because we love fucking painting. We start singing because we love fucking singing. So also giving some space for the fun. For the like, I actually like doing this. And just constantly like rubbing away that thing that's like, I need to be accepted or celebrated or amazing at this thing, and instead just let ourselves be seen. That's the big medicine of White Wind. How can we let ourselves be seen in our vulnerability? So do that, speak, channel, create, and let yourself be seen in your vulnerability. And as I say, I'm going to upload a video in a few days, so keep your eyes peeled about the cosmic quest that I'm co-creating with Taco. The diary should be there by the time that you watch this, so if it is, I will pop the link below and you can start getting your diary for the next spin, which is very exciting. And yeah, I send you so much love. You know, we're all in this together, we're all upgrading together, we're all dying and making a fucking mess together, and it's all alright. It's all alright, and it's exactly as it should be, and yeah, it's perfect. The Cosmic Quest, if you're feeling that, is going to be a really amazing container to go through 13 moons of conscious alignment to cosmic time frames and nature time frames to support us to evolve and embody our deepest selves more and more. So I'm sending love from me and this beautiful place that I find myself. So much gratitude to these waters, so much gratitude to having the opportunity to dive into water on a daily bloody basis. Is there anything else that I want to share? No, I feel that's all for now. So much love.